What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Thursday afternoon so far. This is MYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm not going to talk about stats. I'm not going to talk about wins, losses, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to talk like this as a fan. What I've been seeing from the Brooklyn Nets for the past couple of games has been downright infuriating, saddening, difficult to watch. But at the same time, I understand. This is not the content creator talking. This is the fan talking. I understand what's going on with this basketball team. And I've lowered my expectations on this basketball team. While I do still believe they're going to be a playoff team this year, I'm not going out there thinking that this team is going to win an NBA championship. I'm not going out there thinking that this team is going to just start surprising people and they're going to become a top-level Eastern Conference team. This is a team that's only played 7 games together with this team overall. Obviously, the wing defense is horrendous right now. They have nobody on the perimeter that can guard on a consistent rate, and that has a lot to do with the fact that you don't have defensive-oriented players as much on the wing, and also the fact that you're trying to fit together pieces that right now have no at all chemistry between one another. And that's just facts. This team doesn't have the chemistry that you need to win. And that's the biggest problem with the Brooklyn Nets right now, is the lack of chemistry. Also, just the lack of guys on the outside that can play consistent defense. You have Royce O'Neal, you have Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, and that's really it. Dorian Finney-Smith right now has been he's been a disaster for the past couple of weeks for the Nets. He's not played well at all. He's getting bullied on the inside. Julius Randle ate him for lunch this past game. Ben Simmons is a missing in action all season. Seth Curry, Joe Harris, Patty Mills, these are one-dimensional players. They're catch-and-shoot guys, but the problem is you can't utilize their skills to the best when you don't have anybody that can consistently drive to the basket and get these guys open for one-on-one shots. They're an unbalanced basketball team, and Jacques Vaughn is still trying to put the pieces together with this franchise after the Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving trades. This is not going to be a very easy rest of the season for myself and other Brooklyn Nets fans. It's not. This is going to be a very, very difficult rest of the road for this team. And unfortunately, we just have to sit here and understand that as Nets fans, that this is not going to be easy the rest of the season. But at the same time, there is a foundation that is being built with this team. There are young players on this team that we can look at and say, these guys can be potential big-time pieces of this team moving forward. And if we just get a little bit more chemistry being put together with these players, if we can put together more of a scheme, if we can get more players that fit into the scheme for this team going forward, then maybe we could see what Jacques Vaughn, his vision, has for this basketball team going forward. But right now, it's just not there. A, we just don't have the chemistry. B, we don't have the players on the outside. To me, there's 4 guys on this team that I can honestly say should be part of the core of this basketball team moving forward. Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges, and Nicholas Claxton. They, to me, are the 4 players I believe that this team can build with going forward. And then you just fill in the rest of the pieces. Number 1, this basketball team, when we get to the offseason, needs to get rebounding. In the worst way possible. This basketball team needs to find guys that could just go out there and rebound the basketball offensively and defensively and give their teams either second chance points on the offensive glass or somebody that's going to be able to go out there and consistently get the rebounds you need So at least you're not getting blown out on the boards every single night, because that's one of the biggest problems with the Brooklyn Nets. Every single game in and game out, they're getting blitzed on the boards. And they have no answer for why this is happening. They need to find a way to get some answers on the boards going forward. Because if this keeps happening every single game, the Nets are going to go nowhere. They're going to go nowhere for the rest of the season and going into next season. They need to start finding results on the boards. Because I'm personally getting tired of every time I watch these games and every time I read the box scores, the Nets are getting out-rebounded every single game by at least 10, 15, 20 rebounds. That should not be happening with this basketball team anymore. But it's going to be up to Sean Marks to be able to find the players in the draft and in free agency or trades to get upgrades on this team going through free agency. Because I'm tired of watching this team get out-rebounded by so much. And then defensively, we need to start getting some better wing perimeter defenders. Royce O'Neal has had moments with this team where he's been very good, but for the most part, Royce O'Neal has been a flop. But at the same time, should not be counting on Royce O'Neal to be a top player on this team. He was brought in to be a 3-and-D guy, and he's had to play more of a role now because of the issues with Durant and Irving, and now they're not even here anymore. And the fact that this team is pretty much trying to rebuild while still trying to maintain a solid playoff berth. And now this team is on a 4-game losing streak and going against Boston tomorrow night. In Boston, where they have not beaten the Celtics in 10 straight games. Last night was an indicator. Jalen Brunson absolutely destroyed them last night. He had 39 points, and he's really the big reason why the Knicks have had this incredible resurgence. So, that might be an early off-season thing of what I'd like to see. But right now, to be honest, this has been really, really just a difficult time period for me as a Nets fan watching this. This has really just been very difficult for me watching this kind of play because of the expectations I've had. And I know it's a different team right now. And it's funny because you look at the bottom of the Eastern Conference right now. The Raptors are only a half game behind Atlanta for the 8th seed. 2 games behind Miami for the 7th seed, and 3.5 games behind the Nets for the 6th seed. A lot can change in 20 games. All the Nets need to do is they need to find a way to win a game. Win a game and get some confidence. There's flashes that this team can be good. They are. There are flashes that this team could potentially be a good team. The problem is they're just not able to, A, close out teams in the end, B, play defense on the perimeter, and C, they can't rebound. That's the reason why this team is losing. Dinwiddie, Claxton, Bridges, Johnson. Bridges and Johnson have been the best 2 players on the Nets for this whole time since the NBA trade deadline. And it's not really ironic that's the case. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with this team going forward. But you got 20 or so games to change the narrative. But right now this is a sinking ship with 20 so games to go. Can they turn it around? We'll see. But you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications and hit that like button if you haven't already. This is coming from the fan. And we'll see if the Nets can turn it around in these next 20 or so games. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Take it easy and let's go Brooklyn Nets. It's a Nets world, and we're all just living in it.